You know that feeling, right? You spend hours reading a chapter of a book, and the next day, poof, it's almost all gone. It is so frustrating, and we've all been there. But what if I told you there's a super simple technique, not just for remembering stuff, but for really, truly understanding it? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today. Yeah, it all comes down to this one really elegant idea. The true test of whether you know something, it isn't about being able to just recall it. It's about whether you can explain it clearly to someone else. Simple as that. Okay, but before we jump into the solution, let's talk about the problem itself. I mean, why do we even need a special technique for this? Well, it all starts with something we all know way too well, that feeling of just forgetting. I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You sit down, you read a chapter, maybe you even highlight all the important bits. You feel like, yep, I got this. And then the next day, it's all just a blur. It's because just passively looking at information is a completely different thing from actually actively understanding it. And this gets to the absolute heart of it. Here's a powerful little rule of thumb. If you can't explain something in simple terms, you don't really get it. Not really. See, memorizing things is, well, it's fragile. It breaks easily. But true understanding, that's when you can actually teach it. So this is where our solution comes in. It was developed by this absolute genius, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist named Richard Feynman. He had this knack for cutting through all the complicated stuff to find the simple truth at the core of an idea. And he developed this amazing little trick to do just that. So what is it? At its core, the Feynman technique is all about active learning. This isn't about just staring at your notes again and again. Nope. It's about putting yourself to the test, forcing yourself to explain a concept using the simplest language you can find. Okay, so how do we actually do this? The best part is, it's not some crazy, complicated system with a million rules. It's actually a super straightforward 4-step method that literally anyone can start using today. All right, here's the whole thing in a nutshell. Step 1, learn it. Step 2, teach it. Step 3, find the gaps in your knowledge. And step 4, simplify. That's it. So let's break down each one, starting at the top. Step 1 is, well, it's probably what you're already doing. Just pick your topic. Could be anything really, from quantum physics to learning how to bake bread. And just study it. Read about it, watch some videos, take your notes. Nothing new here. Just your usual routine. Okay, now for the most important step. This is where the magic happens. I want you to close your book, put your notes away, and now pretend you're explaining that topic to a 10-year-old. You can say it out loud or just write it down on a blank sheet of paper. The number 1 rule, use simple, everyday language. No jargon. Absolutely none. Now, as you're doing this, you're gonna get stuck. It's inevitable. You'll pause, you'll hesitate. Maybe you'll use a big, complicated word because you just can't think of a simpler way to put it. And listen, that is not a failure. In fact, that's the whole point. See those moments where you stumble? They're pure gold. They're like a big, bright spotlight pointing to the exact spots where your understanding is weak. That's your signal to go back to your notes or the book. But don't reread the whole thing. Just focus on filling in that one specific gap until you can explain it without getting stuck. All right, so once you've plugged those holes in your understanding, you go back to your explanation one more time. The goal now is to refine it, polish it, make it even simpler. Look at what you wrote, hunt down any fancy words you might have missed, and just turn the whole thing into a simple, clear story that anyone could get. So there you have it, the 4 steps. Pretty simple, right? But the big question is, why does this work so much better than, say, just rereading your notes over and over? Well, the answer is all about how it forces your brain to engage. It really boils down to this huge difference between passive and active learning. Look, passive learning is the easy stuff we all do. Reading, highlighting, watching a video. The information just kind of washes over you. But active learning, that's totally different. That's when you're explaining, recalling from memory, organizing ideas. You're forcing your brain to get its hands dirty and actually work with the material. And the Feynman technique is pure 100% active learning. Think about it. When you try to explain something simply, you're not just spitting back facts. You're forcing your brain to organize everything logically. You have to recall things from memory, not just look at them. You have to connect all the dots. And, like we said, it's the ultimate way to expose what you don't know. So, all that extra brain power, does it actually pay off? Oh yeah. And the question is, by how much? Well, studies suggest that this kind of active learning can help you learn things up to 2 times faster. Seriously, twice as fast, just by changing how you study, not necessarily how long. Okay, so this is way more than just some cool theory or a trick that only physicists can use. This is a real, practical tool that you, yes, you, can start using this afternoon to master pretty much anything you set your mind to. And that brings us right back to where we started. It's easy to memorize a name or a definition. Anyone can do that. But real knowledge, the kind that actually sticks around, the kind you can use in the real world, that only comes from a deep, genuine understanding. And this technique, it's your shortcut to getting there. So I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Think of something right now, one thing you've always wanted to learn, or some topic that's always felt a little fuzzy. Just give this a shot. I think you're going to be absolutely blown away by how fast and how deeply you can understand it. So the only question left is, what are you going to master first?